Yes, bit of an explanation to this one, but welcome to my combined AEW and WWE Wrestlepalooza show. And I don't really want to do this, but I have to start tonight with a bit of an apology. Um, Most of you guys who are subscribers will know that yesterday I was very, very giddy and excited because my young son went to a party and his mum was at work all day, which basically meant I had the day to myself. So I was able to go and see bits of the Merseyside derby, because I'm a massive red, as most of you know. And then I was going to watch AEW. And hey, how you doing, Johnny? Very sorry about doing my apology now. Yeah, as most of you know, I was then going to watch All Out and Wrestlepalooza. Ordered All Out at 7 o'clock last night, and then found out it started at 8, and I was like, oh, right, okay, fair enough. Long story short, I ended up watching all of All Out, but I was going to do a live reaction to that in between that and Wrestlepalooza kind of thing. Because I then found out it was at 8, it meant I didn't have the extra hour. So I thought, right, I'll tell you what I'll do a live reaction to both shows. Really good idea, right? No, turns out it was not a good idea at all. Basically, long story short, I ended up going to sleep during Wrestlepalooza, basically. And the thing is that I wanted to say was obviously because I've missed a few of these shows already. I put this on my channel before, but just to let you guys know, because I'm just being honest, I suffer at the moment with sleep apnea, and obviously I'm sure you guys know roughly what it is, but one of its effects is you basically, if you end up in a deep sleep, or at least me, you're basically out, gone, finished. As in, alarms can be going off, as in your house could be on fire and you cannot get up, basically. At least that's what it's done to me. So, long story short, obviously it's not really acceptable, but that's happened to me a couple of times since I've done the live streams and I've not been able to do it. So, just wanted to apologise for yesterday. At the end of the day, it's not good enough, it's me. I need to sort myself out with it, and just sorry for anyone that was waiting for it yesterday, basically, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, just wanted to say sorry about that, folks. Yeah, cool. Anyway, right, let me just have a quick look at the comments. Hi, Myril. How you doing again, mate? Johnny, we want football. Oh, don't you worry, I should be talking about football later. Especially after today's results. I was a bit pleased, put it that way. Axel. Alright, mate, how you doing? M. Ahmed, hi, how you doing? Oh, sorry, Johnny. Yeah, no, like I said, sorry, Jay. It's just, basically, I'm trying to be a bit more honest with people about this sort of thing at the minute, because as some of you guys know, I've got some medical rubbish that's going on, and the sleep apnea, unfortunately, is one of them. Sometimes I don't know if there's any other people who have condition. I mean, I'm having a meeting about it next week with like a GP, and I've got to do some random test or whatever. But I don't know if anyone else suffers from it or has any sleep related conditions. It's just very, very difficult, and you just can't get up. Yeah, yeah. No. Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you. All right, you're doing good. I am Axel. Thank you. I'm doing very well now. I'm very well rested. Put it that way after yesterday. Yeah, nice one, dude. I read the ones at the top, and you can, mate. It's no problem at all. Don't worry about health. That's all. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Johnny. Speak slowly and clear. I've got a Brummie accent, mate, so you'll be. I'll do my best, but that's well, to quote Star Lord, this is my voice. But I'll try and do my best on it. Notification. Hello, hi. Wow. Yeah. Just bear with me a second. Mm, yeah. Yeah, I think we'll just ignore that. Right, folks. Anyway, enough about me going on about my health because you're here for wrestling and stuff. I have done, mate. Don't worry. Um, so yeah, AEW All Out started 8 o'clock last night. Now, basically, like I said, I watched this. I watched it like an hour late, basically, which threw me out for Wrestlepalooza. But um, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And shout out to I can't believe I'm having to say this, but due to financial reasons at the moment, and I don't get paid till next week from work, thank you very much to Mommy uh, for buying me the pay-per-view, which is very embarrassing. But yes, thank you, Mom. Love you. Yeah. So started off with Brian Danielson coming out. By the way, I just wanted to mention before I get into the wrestling, how good is Brian Danielson as a commentator? I'm sorry, I completely disagree with anyone else, but I thought I think he's absolutely amazing. He's taken to it like a duck to water. Just the way he talks about the wrestling, his enthusiasm, like he'll tell you if a wrestler's grabbing a body part and what it leads to, and so on and so forth. I just think he's really, really good. I've been well impressed with Danielson as a commentator, and I'm so glad he's staying in wrestling. Obviously, if I'm AEW, I'm putting him on the booking committee. At least I hope that they are, and using his experience. You would like to think they were do anyway, but yeah, no, just pleased for that. We had Cope and Christian versus FTR, which was a really good match. Really enjoyed it. The one really random thing that I wanted to pick out about this match. Cool, nice one. The one thing that I wanted to pick out about this match, it was cool, and I like that Beth Phoenix came out. Oh, sorry, Beth, because we can't call her Phoenix apparently for some reason. Yeah, I love the fact that Beth came out, and I really like FTR involving her in the storyline. So at the end, obviously after they'd won, FTR, sorry, Cope and Christian won. After they'd won, Copeland got attached to the ropes, and basically, he's helpless, and his missus is sat there, and she basically starts beating the living tar out of FTR, and they ended up doing the God, what's their finisher? The Shatter Machine on her while Copeland was hooked up. It was proper nasty heel stuff. So I love that bit, and I love the fact that they were just, pardon my language, but just being arseholes basically. Like old school heel tag team wrestling. I love the way they cut off the ring. Yeah, I love FTR. I think they are, for me at least, I think they're probably just about the best tag team in the world, and I think they have been for a long time. Obviously, the Briscoes were one of the #1 tag teams, and God rest his soul. But yeah, I thought it was a really good match. The one thing, I am just glanced at my notes. The one thing that, well, there's two things actually. I didn't understand what the hell that Nick Wayne bit was about. Like bringing him out in a wheelchair, and it's like, haha, I'm Nick Wayne, and it's like, what is that? Like, I know they said that it was a distraction, but it's like, well, couldn't have FTR have just started attacking them after the match? Or if they are working with Kip Sabian, just have him attack them. I don't. I just sorry. I just found that very odd, to be honest. It's like, oh my god, the only reason they were distracted because Nick Wayne came out in a wheelchair, and I'm sat there going, what is that all about? That's just weird. The other thing that I just wanted to mention as well, and I know this has been a bit divisive on social media, it was the really weird segment where Copeland started doing wrestling moves from other companies, and specifically he did the "You Can't See Me" move by Cena, when obviously he hits the ropes a couple of times and goes, "You can't see me," but he actually did it in AEW. And I don't think they mentioned Cena by name, but I think they said something along the lines of what was it now? Adam Copeland acknowledging the retirement of his great friend, and then they sort of trailed off, and the crowd ended up actually chanting Cena. It wasn't for long, but it was for like, I don't know, about 5-6 seconds, something like that. And AEW's done this before when Darby Allin cut a promo and he mentioned Cody, and they ended up chanting for Cody Rhodes. But it was the week before Rhodes won the title at WrestleMania, and I'm like, look, doing a crossover is fine, and obviously you could mention WWE and stuff, but getting people to chant other wrestling promotions superstars' name on your show as opposed to your own superstars is how does one put this? Stupid, basically. I don't understand why that was a thing or why it was even allowed. I mean, like I said, obviously you could look. We all know that Adam Copeland is Edge, and that they've got to acknowledge at times, and I do get that, and that's fine. But just blatantly doing it to the point where people are chanting Cena was. I don't know. I mean, for want of a better phrase, I thought it was completely bloody stupid, to be honest, to go all English for a minute. But I don't know. I know other people liked it, and that's fine. That's fair enough. But it just wasn't for me. But in terms of the match, I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. Going on to the next match, my man Eddie Kingston came back. Now, I've not mentioned this before because he's been out in all the times I've been doing the live shows. But can I just say, I effing love Eddie Kingston. I just love the fact that that's him, that he talks about men's mental health, that he's unabashedly himself. I like the fact he's a big bloke. Shout out to the big blokes out there carrying a bit of extra poundage. But I love the fact people look at him and think he's some sort of thug. And truly, honestly, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, technically, he's absolutely brilliant. Japanese strong style. I mean, I love the fast chop as well that he does. It's really, really cool. Yeah, no, I'm just delighted he's back. I liked it how that they made it all about New York, because obviously they had him wrestling Big Bill. The match was actually quite good. I mean, I'm not a massive Big Bill fan, but fair play after what that bloke's been through in his life. You know, he's, to be fair, from what he's come back from, and he's making himself an accomplished wrestler now, so fair play to the bloke. Yeah, I thought it was good actually. I like the way that Hook came out as well, and they turned it into a whole New York thing. So yeah, no, Eddie Kingston gets the win. The match was what it was. It was fine. Obviously, Kingston's been out for 16 months. It wasn't ever going to be a classic of any kind, but just shout out to Eddie Kingston. I'm so pleased he's back. Basically, speaking of which, swig of water for the working man. Just the 5 points clear now, by the way. Anyway, back onto wrestling. So next we had MJF versus Mark Briscoe. And the only thing I've put in my notes is sick. As in, not how the young people say sick, bruh, or whatever it is my son says now. I mean, as in, it was weirdo sick. Like, obviously, Mark Briscoe is known for these sort of matches, and MJF, they're trying to get him over as a bit of a hard man. Also, as well, I'm not sure what the whole MJF was dressing in white, and then he ended up bleeding or getting Mark Briscoe's blood on him in a rather unfortunate area. Oh, Noe, welcome, mate. Fair enough. I think you'll win a trophy. I don't think you'll win the treble, to be honest. I mean, I've actually got Arsenal down. What did I predict Arsenal as? I've got you winning 2 trophies, not 3. I think Arsenal will get over the line, but I think you might do what we did the season about 3 years ago. I think you might win the FA Cup and the league. I don't know why. I've just put it in my predictions, because, like, your boy Arteta needs to win something. I do feel, even as a Liverpool fan, though this is a bit random, I do feel a bit sorry for Arteta, in that obviously he does need to win a trophy, but I mean, when he took over Arsenal, I think I was watching, they were playing Bournemouth, this was about 5-6 years ago, and I think Arsenal were like 13th in the league or something like that, 4 points above the bottom 3. It was something, it was a horrendous position. and now people are complaining about the fact he's not winning the league and Champions League. And I'm like, look, as much as I've taken a mick out of Mikel, I'm like, well, what exactly are you wanting the gentleman to do? I mean, he was literally going up against Man City, and I get he's got to get over the line, but I mean, if Arsenal do sack Mikel, I mean, I'm not entirely sure you think you're going to get who's better than him, to be honest. I mean, one of the Arsenal fan TV people, I can't believe I mentioned it on my channel, was suggesting that you get Jose Mourinho. And I was just like, because you want to finish mid-table, presumably. What on earth? Anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, just my opinion. But yeah, MJF Briscoe was sick. Briscoe took the actual thumbtacks because it was one of them thumbtack matches. Like splayed them all around the ring, and he, of course, he was the first one to get dropped on the actual. He was the first one to get dropped on his head, of course, on the thumbtacks, because that's how it works. It used to happen to the great Mick Foley back in the day, when he'd put the thumbtacks out, and you think Triple H is going to go into them, and it was always Mick that ended up going through him, or going through barbed wire, or God knows what else, basically. He actually got dumped on his head on the thumbtacks. Now, I know they're gimmicked thumbtacks, they're obviously not like real thumbtacks. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously, they are going to hurt, but they're not going to be like actual thumbtacks, but they're going to be as close as you can possibly get, and those things are going to hurt. By the way, I don't know if anyone saw the other day on Collision, it's just occurred to me, there was a match between Tony Storm and Sky Blue, and I talked about this in a previous live stream, I can't get my head out. Sky Blue got stapler, and Tony Storm's how to put this politely, Tony Storm's bottom was hanging out of the ring, and Sky Blue literally came along and stapled her on. And I was just, I know I shouldn't laugh because it's very childish and it's not funny, but I showed my son, and literally, we're literally just rolling around the floor, crying with laughter. Mrs. comes wandering, it's like, what are you wondering? What are you laughing at? Now we're both just like, look at this, Bobby. And I was like, yeah, it's so funny. She literally just looks and walks out, basically. But hey, that's my sense of humour. But yeah, no, I thought the Briscoe match was absolutely fantastic. Just in general, I thought it was the right decision for him to go over MJF, just to give him a bit of closure in terms of his brother. Well played to MJF as well, because he could have kicked off about it. Said he doesn't want to put someone like Briscoe over and this, that, and the other, and I thought he played it brilliantly. I mean, he is, to my mind, MJF, probably just about the best heel in the business at the moment. At least he's in the conversation for a top 5. I mean, the bloke is just a giant arse, basically, but he's very good at being a giant arse. So, fair play to him. No, I really enjoyed that match. Randomly, going on to the next match, the Hurt Business against the Demand, I think they're calling themselves now. I randomly really enjoyed that match, and I wasn't expecting to, because I was just like, oh goody, Ricochet's new group. And no offence to either of them, but I was just like, yay, against the Hurt Business, and the Demand actually went over. And I was actually really impressed with that Bishop Khan guy. There's Bishop Khan and Toalonia, is it? I forgot his name because I haven't seen too many of their matches. Fair play to both of those lads. They are actually really, really good. So I take back what I said, to be honest. Very, very good. Very good performance. I really liked the bit. It was just at the start of the match where Bishop Khan was wrestling Shelton Benjamin. Even I thought it was absolutely brilliant, just the way that those two were going at each other. It was like proper like an old school pro wrestling match. So just shout out to those two for their segment. It was really, really good. Ricochet was great. I would like to see him go a bit further up the card. I'm not suggesting he should be going after Hangman, but like, if you're going to build a stable with Ricochet, then, and as well, you're paying the guy so much money. Why is he mid card? I just don't. To be honest with Ricochet, I don't know what it is. But the two major biggest companies in North America, as opposed to New Japan when he worked there, they can't get him to the top of the card, and I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. Obviously WWE was always going to be difficult for him, but then he had the match against Logan, and everyone thought, right, here we go, and then it was just like, yeah, we've done High Fly, Ricochet, go away. And I think it was after that he'd lost his patience with him. He was just like, I'm going to go to AEW, and again, he comes in, he actually turns heel, and it's quite a decent heel turn in my opinion. He goes full Michael Douglas falling down. That's an old film, kids. If you're watching it, it was a film where Michael Douglas goes crazy. As in, yes, Michael Douglas, who is the Wasp's father. That one. And yeah, I really like the heel turn because obviously he stabbed Swerve Strickland with a pen or a screwdriver or whatever it was, which apparently you can do it in a wrestling arena. And I really liked the way he was going, and then they just sort of stagnated with him. So yeah, a bit of a side quest thing there, but I would just like them to do something a bit better with Ricochet, and who knows, maybe this is the way to do it. But yeah, no, very very impressive performance. It was great to see MVP back as well. I really enjoyed, because I used to be like randomly about 16, 17 years ago, I used to be a massive MVP fan, and I was like, I don't know if anyone remembers him in WWE, but they had that ridiculous storyline where he couldn't win a match for, I think it was something daft, like about 6 months. And then I think he might have beat Triple H or something like that. I can't remember exactly the storyline, but I always wanted MVP to win from there. I really liked MVP when he came in as the investor for TNA as well. So I've always kind of liked MVP. And fair play, he looked good. He did look good last night, considering not being in the ring for that long. But yeah, no, that was cool. Mercedes versus Riho. I don't wish to be rude, and obviously most of you have heard me going on about this the other day. I've just written meh. Don't really want to talk about it that much. No disrespect to both women, but I just didn't like the matchup before it was advertised. I think Rio's a very good, extremely talented worker. Obviously, Mercedes Moné is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I just don't see the match. To be honest, for me, Mercedes has got to be working with. I like the way that she tries to put people over from CMLL and Mexico, New Japan, and she goes around the world, and I get what they're doing with her, and that's fine. But I want to see Mercedes against your Tony Storms, against your Athenas. I would like to run a program with Athena. I thought that would be really cool. Chris Statlander, DMD, if she ever does come back, which I would probably politely suggest is probably very unlikely now. And yeah, I just didn't think the match was very good, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, both women tried the hardest, and fair enough if anyone disagrees with me, maybe it's just biased, but it just wasn't. It wasn't for me, to be honest. So, let me just read Brian. Hi, Brian. Treble Whiskey. Funnily enough, after this, Brian, I not that I'm glorifying drinking YouTube, but there may be a whiskey-based substance that I may sit and enjoy to watch Match of the Day, which I've just realised I'm currently missing, and I'm making you guys miss as well, so I won't be sitting much longer. But yes, no, I will probably have a tipple to end the weekend with. Noe again, Jose Mourinho, we don't claim him. Good. I honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was just, I tell you, it was the I don't know if anyone watches Arsenal Fantasy, but I can't believe this is the second time I've mentioned him on my bloody channel. Not Robbie, because I actually don't mind him. I think he's quite a decent, intelligent fella, and it was the Jamaican gentleman with the glasses. I don't know what his name is, and look, I don't know the bloke, but this interview he gave, he's outside the Emirates, and he's literally giving it the big one, calling Arteta various names that I can't mention on live streams, and basically demanding that Jose Mourinho comes in. There was all these Arsenal fans. There was a few of them looking at him while he did it, going, "What you want about, man?" It was very, very, very strange. But hey, I I don't want to get beaten up, Brian, so I'm not going to read that one, but fair enough. No, I'm not going to start wars with Arsenal fans on a wrestling live stream, but yes, feel free to expand, that's fine. Right, next thing was, oh, yes, this was the one I wanted to concentrate on probably most of all, out of all the wrestling matches this week. Dorado versus Takeshita and Okada, because this gives me an excuse to have a little bit more of this. Fantastic effort, lads. That is literally one of the best wrestling matches that I have seen in the last 5 years. And I stand by that because it was, I'm not even going to try and describe it because, as you know, I'm not really a wrestling move describer and person who puts together the matches. Look, I will just tell you if I thought the match was good, and it's up to you to watch and this, that, and the other, but I'll tell you bits and pieces about it. But this last night was truly and utterly, like, I don't say this often. Okay. I don't say this often, but generally it was an absolute pleasure to watch that match. That Dorado guy, Masca Dorado, I think his full name is. He is sensational. Absolutely sensational. Look, Okada is Okada. He's the Rainmaker. Having seen him in real life, funnily enough with Okada, I've managed to miss nearly 2 of his matches in England because once I went to the bathroom once and didn't realise that Okada versus Strickland was the one that's just been at Forbidden Door. And I thought it was someone else. I don't know why. I just heard some random music and thought, oh, I'll go now. And then I came back and found to my horror it was Okada and Swerve Strickland, and I got to see 5 minutes of it. And they're 2 of my top 5 favourite wrestlers in the world. And I was just like, you absolute bloody idiot. And the other time I missed his entrance into the Gauntlet match, which was at Wembley Stadium for AEW in the UK. And I also on that managed to miss Nigel McGuinness's comeback as well. So yeah, bit of advice, kids, if you're going to wrestling and if you're like a vlogger, wee lots first and just drink the bare minimum and make sure that you're well fed and don't buy any beer or anything like that. If you are going to buy beer, sip it in small portions. But yeah, no, generally, it was an absolutely sensational match. There was one bit where Takeshita, if you haven't seen it, just please go and watch it. You'll find the highlights on YouTube or whatever. But there's a bit where Takeshita, let me try and figure out how to explain it. He's got Dorado, and this is on the outside of the ring. And he kind of drops him from height onto his knee, then onto the actual the ring sort of entrance, and I was just like, what is that? That is immense. Yeah, I also as well, I loved the Okada, and I loved them all together. I thought they were a great combo, but I loved Okada versus Takeshita, and they need to make that happen. Now, I've put in my notes, I think it's fairly apparent that Takeshita is going to become a face at some point. I mean, he does, obviously he's a very good looking dude. He's 6'5", he's jacked. Yeah, they could put a rocket launcher. They could put a rocket on that kid's back and he will fly. But it's how to get him out of the Don Callis family, because I mean, obviously they've just lost Wardlow as well, who's managed to get himself injured again. Shout out to Wardlow, hope he gets better soon. Yeah, no, honestly, folks, just if you can go and watch that match. Like I said, you won't be disappointed. It was one of, I don't know if I could put it in my best wrestling matches of all time yet. Give it 5 or 6 years and it probably goes in. It's probably already in my top 100. I thought it was sensational. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's got. Right. By the way, guys, I feel so sorry for those of you who are young. Look, it doesn't really affect me like weirdos like that last gentleman putting silly messages on. I mean, if it makes you feel good about yourself, Yeah, you can call me Maltese ahead, son. That's wonderful. I mean, where did you graduate from? Oxford or Cambridge? Um, anyway, so after that we had the Darby Allin and the John Moxley match. That was that was also quite sick as well. I'm trying to look what happened. I love the way that it started as well, where Darby Allin was based. I thought he was going to do something like that. They jump started the match, so Mox's music comes out, and Mox is walking along. Then Darby Allin just batters into him, and he ends up going to like this bit of the stand, and ends up coughing, dropping Moxley within the first. You're talking it's the first 2 minutes of the match before they'd even got into the ring. So I love the start. I thought it was really good. It wasn't as good as the previous match for me, but yeah, no, really enjoyed the match. It was absolutely fantastic. Daniel Bryan did not get involved as promised, and also Pac came back as well because you think Darby Allin's about to win, and then Pac of Newcastle fame actually came back. So he's now in the back in the Death Riders as well. So they've got like a full crew. That's another thing about AEW. I'm not sure how many of these big groups they can keep doing because obviously you've got your Ricochet group, your Don Callis group, you've got your this one as well. I mean, there's a lot of factions in AEW. I mean, obviously you've got tag teams and you've got groups, but I've always just liked like back in the days when we had the NWO when there was just one big faction that basically were part of the main storyline. I mean, I don't mind multiples, but they've got too many AEW. They start these groups and never finish them. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Mox gets the win. And then they dragged it because obviously it was a coffin match as well. Sorry, I should mention it was a coffin match. Put Darby in the coffin and basically drag him outside. Now I don't know if this next bit was on live or whether it was taped afterwards because that was the point when unfortunately I fell asleep basically. Mox basically tells all the Death Riders to get lost basically. So they all get in this black SUV, Pac as well. Some of them are in the back of the SUV, and it drives off. And Mox says, "I want to deal with this myself," which I did think straight away was like, "What? Why would you do that as a heel? That's really weird." And he opens up the coffin, and all of a sudden, Darby Allin dives out, and I think he's got like some sort of like pole or blade or something like that. Whacks Mox in the head, puts him in one of his body bags that he now carries around with him, apparently, and then sets Moxley on fire. I mean, it was only for a few seconds because obviously they had fire specialist technician people who were disguised as helpers, I don't know, who put Mox out. And it was just so weird. I mean, it fixed Darby Allin's character perfectly. I mean, I think at some point Darby Allin's got to go after the big belt, and maybe that's what they're doing with Moxley. Maybe Mox is getting him ready to go at Hangman. I don't know. But yeah, the big surprise that I was not hugely impressed with. So I will get onto WWE in a second. Just very quickly, the Tony Storm match. One, I wasn't impressed. I thought the match was fine, don't get me wrong, but I was not impressed with the result because I wanted Tekla to win. Those of you who've been on the channel for a while know I'm a huge Tekla fan. I think that girl is absolutely brilliant, thoroughly entertaining, and she needs to be queen and champion of the entire universe as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, no, I love Tekla. But I also was not keen on the fact that Tony Storm, if it comes to being Tekla, lost the belt because she lost the belt to Chris Statlander. Fantastic wrestler. Don't get me wrong, I've seen her live. She's absolutely brilliant, and I think she should be at the tops of cards. All the ability in the world, great look, great size, great athlete, great wrestler, fine. But they've just given her the belt out of nowhere. Like there was no. I know Statlander's been involved in programs and stuff, but there was no build to it. Really, it just came out of the blue, and I was like, I jumped up out of the chair last night, and I was like, well, surely you can't be serious. That turns out Tony Khan was serious, and Chris Statlander is now the holder of the Women's World Championship for some inexplicable reason. I don't know. I mean, maybe presumably Toni Storm will win it back, and they'll run a program with her and Stat because technically, obviously, Toni Storm deserves a rematch. Maybe they just hotshot it back to her. If they're going to have Statlander as the champion, they need to do some major work and very quickly. And again, it's no offense to Chris Statlander; it's not her that's put herself in this position. But to just give it her out of nowhere with no sort of basis for getting behind her or hating her or whatever is just... I do worry about that decision, but, you know, maybe they've got a thing, so you know, best of luck to Chris, and congratulations to her as well. Like I said, she's an absolutely fantastic wrestler, so I hope it does work out for her, but what they've given her to start off with does not fill me with confidence, to be honest. And then just very quickly, because it was one of the matches I wasn't massively keen on. Hangman versus Carl Fletcher. Now, don't get me wrong, it was a very good wrestling match. Entertained by it. But I've said before on one of these shows, I just think it's too early for Carl Fletcher, and I don't think it wasn't a match to sell pay-per-views. I get that they're trying to get Hangman as many wins as possible, but for me, and I know obviously the pool's a bit deleted at the moment because obviously Omega's out, Ospreay's out, Strickland's out, and Darby Allin's is in the program with Mox. And Mox has obviously just been an opponent of Hangman. So in terms of main event male wrestlers, I mean, I would love to see Hangman versus Okada. Why they didn't book something like that, I don't know. Because you could, like I said, Carl Fletcher was a champion anyway, so there's no, even if you've got Okada with the whatever it is, I don't know what the hell's that belt called now. I forget, but champion of the universe belt, no idea, I've completely forgot. Anyway, you could definitely have Okada wrestling with Hangman. If Ricochet had been like slightly hotter than he is, I'd like to see Hangman versus Ricochet, at least for like a feud that lasts maybe a month or something like that. If you're going to build a long-term feud, I'd like to see him go against Ospreay, because Ospreay is back. He's just had his operation now and he's back in rehabilitation and training, so you'd hope that Will was maybe back by January, something along them lines, hopefully. I don't know how long Swerve is out for, but I know they've done Swerve and Hangman. But I mean, you could probably, I mean, those two are like The Rock and Triple H back in the day. You can just, with Triple H and The Rock, they were always one of those acts that you could just throw into a show, even though they'd wrestled, I don't know, a million times by that point, and no one would complain about it. I think Hangman and Swerve have got the same sort of thing. I would like Hangman to face Darby Allin, because I just think that would be really, really interesting, and they could really get Darby over. Maybe even Hangman does the business for Darby Allin. That's how he wins his first world title. I don't know, but I think that would be a really, really good matchup, to be fair. But anyway, so that was the AEW section. Thought the pay-per-view was, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest, with the matchups. I thought it was really good. Really, really enjoyed it. And again, match of the night so far for me is Dorado, Takeshita, and Okada. Like I said, please go and watch it, folks, if you are listening to me. It was sensational. Absolutely loved it. So I will go to my. I'm just turning my notes over. Check them bad boys out. I can barely even read what I've written, as per usual. But there were only 5 matches, so I can probably do this off the top of my head. Right, so WWE Wrestlepalooza. So basically your boy's fallen asleep now. I've then woke back up and I'm watching Wrestlepalooza like, I don't know, like an hour and a half behind everyone else. So I was like, right, get Netflix on, start watching it. And then I was presented with Brock Lesnar and John Cena. Oh, yeah. How do I... By the way, I should just say this will be available on YouTube podcasts and as a video at some point tomorrow, I think. I really need to start learning to do that at the start of shows instead of halfway through. Anyway, Cena versus Brock Lesnar, I thought it was an appallingly booked match, and it just made Cena look completely stupid. I love the way they position Brock, don't get me wrong, and if Brock's legal issues have been clarified and everyone's satisfied, then I'm more than happy for Brock Lesnar to come back to work for WWE. The way they've built him up again, though, he's like this unstoppable monster. And yes, I know he is technically an unstoppable monster, and Brock Lesnar would probably batter half of the, well, probably 90% of the WWE roster, but that was kind of my problem with the run that he had before this, in that there was just no one who could get near him, basically. I just think it's going to be the same thing all over again. I mean, the only one size-wise who even you could even have in there with him not convinced is probably Roman. I'd like to see him and Drew McIntyre run it back again if they can turn. Because I think Drew McIntyre is on the verge of turning face. He's getting to the point he's getting some very loud reactions and people are cheering for him. And I'll talk about Drew in a second. But I see Drew versus Brock. I think that you could probably be convinced that Drew could give it a go. But I mean, you look at the rest of the roster. I mean, what are we doing? Like Jey Uso against Brock Lesnar? Nope. LA Knight Lesnar? No. I guess you could have CM Punk versus Brock, and I'm assuming that they will run that program considering the Heyman thing. So there are some exciting matches that you could have, but I've said this before. The issue that I've got with the John Cena thing is Cena now needs his win back against Brock, which presumably means his last 4 appearances? Is it 4 or 5? I forget. He's got 1 in Australia, he's got 2 Raws, and then he's got his last appearance, I think. So I don't know if that's tomorrow, and then he's off for... I don't know exactly, but he's got 4 or 5. I do hope that the Brock Lesnar thing isn't going to finish Cena's career, as in, like, if it's just going to be Cena and Brock until he goes in promo segments and matches and whatever. But I'm starting to think, who else is there out there who legitimately could end Cena's career, essentially? I mean, like I've said before, I would have loved Joe Hendry to have been one of the last people to have faced him, but I cannot see that happening there. But anyhow, I just thought it was... I did like Paul Heyman coming out, because that's added a new wrinkle, because then you're like, well, is Brock... Are they going to do the thing that they did with Punk and Brock back in the day, where they never crossed over when Heyman was the manager? Because obviously he managed both of them at the same time. Are they going to do that with Brock and the Vision, or do maybe the Vision just... I don't know if Brock would join the Vision, because it doesn't make any sense, but could they do a bit of business together? I don't know. Perhaps maybe Bron Breakker. Now, Bron Breakker versus Brock Lesnar. Now, that I could say. I know Brock's got the height advantage, but Bron Breakker could definitely hold his own. Maybe not so much Bronson, but yeah, maybe that's possibly where they're going. Look, I don't know, but it's opened up some possibilities. But I just thought, in terms of John's last few matches, like I just thought that was completely and utterly unnecessary. Don't get me wrong, if Cena had lost, fine, but let him get more offense in. I mean, he had literally about a 60-second flurry, and I just thought it was really poor, in my opinion. But I know some people enjoyed it, so fair play to them. Obviously, Pat McAfee came back in. His son was delighted about that because he really likes McAfee. I do as well. I think he's tremendous. The Usos versus the Bronze. What I said earlier about Mercedes and Riho, yeah, again, I wasn't particularly... I was actually looking forward to the match. I thought it was quite disappointing. And at that stage, I was like, oh, that's 2 matches. See, this is when I fell asleep as well, with the old sleep apnea, so it's WWE's fault, basically. No, I did think to myself, oh, that's 2 not great-ish ones, depending on your point of view. I don't know. I just haven't got any notes from it, basically. yeah, the bronze went over. LA Knight was the referee. Looks like they're going to carry on the Knight storyline with um, I don't know, the Usos. Where that's going, perhaps I have no idea. I mean, I'm guessing maybe LA Knight's going to turn heel, maybe, or maybe it's Jake. I don't know, to be honest, but I just didn't. I thought the match was fine. I just it just wasn't memorable to me. What was memorable to me, however, was Stephanie Vicaire and Io Sky. So Stephanie Vicaire is now the new Women's World Champion. Obviously, Naomi had to vacate it because she was pregnant, and hopefully, Glow will be back in time for WrestleMania. I mean, doing the maths, it's what, mid-September now. In fact, it's late September, isn't it? WrestleMania is what, mid-April. So that's about 7.5 months. I think she's been pregnant for 3 months. She might get back for WrestleMania. Yeah, maybe. Like, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Steph Care has now won. Uh, yes. Bye. Dear. I will just delete you, folks. Oh, Johnny, Kirk has put. I thought it did. Yeah, no, I've rewatched it, mate, today actually. Because you know the story. I missed half of it because of my son getting picked up as well. But I know I thought he was a hell of a lot better than he was. To be fair, the last time, I mean, obviously Burnley was absolutely bloody horrendous. But yeah, no, I thought he played really well. Gravenberg at the minute. I mean, wow. Um, But yeah, to go back to the Stephanie Vicario and Io Sky match. Again, folks, go and watch it. Don't listen to me waffle on about it. It was sensational. Can I just say, Io Sky is rapidly turned into one of my favourite wrestlers in the world, man or woman. I know we've got to keep saying that, but like blah blah blah. Across the board, Io Sky is a top draw wrestler. I absolutely love her work. I think she's tremendous. Um, she can actually do like an old school face. Um, And yeah, let's move that as well. Yeah, wow. A lot of drunk people this evening. Yeah, no, honestly, EO is, it's again, like I said in the Dorado Takeshita and Okada match, it's a pleasure to watch that woman work. I think she's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, just wanted to say fair play to her. Steph Fakir was awesome. Um, yeah, I'm not even going to try and describe the match, folks. Just please go and watch it. It was tremendous. I loved the show of respect at the end as well when they both sort of bowed to each other and showed the humility and respect. It was really really good, and obviously Steph um, doing it in front of her dad, which is someone that's lost his father. I would have loved to have done something like that, so I nearly teared up a little bit as well. Always remember to cry, lad. Yeah, no, it was honestly, it was a sensational match. I've actually got here match of the night in both shows. I think just for me, the Okada match, just because I thought it was a tremendous. I thought it was slightly better than the Steph EO, but it was very, very close between them. I mean, those two are my two favourite matches from both shows. I thought they were sensational. I would happily watch them again. I think Master Judo's going to get reported if it keeps carrying on. Yeah, so that was absolutely fantastic. Just going to finish off with the last two, folks, because it looks like we've got the crazies coming out again. The AJ Lee and CM Punk thing versus Becky Lynch and Seth was good. It wasn't quite as good as I was expecting again. I thought it was a very good match, don't get me wrong, but I was slightly disappointed. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. I mean, I love the. To be fair, the last 10 minutes it was really really good. When they had the tear ups with both of them, I loved what AJ Lee when she came in. I love the fact they kept the crowd waiting as well because it gets the crowd really hot, and they kept doing this thing with Seth and Bex messing about. preventing AJ Lee from getting in the ring. You can tell the crowd were getting really annoyed. I think the crowd had dipped a little bit after Takeshita. Crew Alexandra, as in the football team, Crew Alexandra. Yeah, if it's a football team, fair play, love. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about the AJ Lee match. Don't get me wrong, it was good. It wasn't like rubbish or anything like that. Far from it. But I think oh, it is the Crew Alexandra. Yes, the Royal Mail. Oh, mate. Thank you so much for giving us Danny Murphy all those years ago. Yes, that's my one thing that I know about Crew. And I watched Crew in 1992 when I was about 11 years old. Yes, that's how old I am. When we went to, I hope I've got the name of your ground right, Gresty Road. I hope that's the right stadium name. I've got a feeling it's not. I apologise if it's not, Alex. Oh, it is called Niceville. No, I remember us playing Crew, and it was the FA Cup third round in January 1992. Like, I can't do maths, but I can remember stupid football dates, basically. Yeah. And the first half, I can remember Crew being all over us. I think we had like a 1-0 lead, and then it finished 4-0 at the end, but like first half was honestly, got Crew were literally all over us, and then I want to say John Barnes scored a penalty. I think Dean Saunders maybe got a couple or something. I can't remember. It was like 33 years ago now, but yeah, no, I always remember that first half against Crew and it being very, very uncomfortable. I'm sure it was 0-0 at half time. I'll have to have a look actually, but yeah, no, good luck to Crew. In fact, I'm actually, funnily enough, this is a bit of a random coincidence actually. I do football stadium tours. Sorry, this is just a a cheap plug. On the channel, everything I've got, because obviously I do wrestling, football, horror, comic cons, toy hunts, blah blah blah. Hence the name Geek Boy, because I'm interested in loads of stuff. Basically, one of the ones I do is Geek Boy Does Football, and I've got like loads of football stadiums that I've already been to, like not in the ground obviously, but just going around it and taking people around. I just went over the summer to Arsenal, Spurs, and West Ham. But funnily enough, I'm actually going to be, I think, in and around the Crew area in probably about 3 weeks' time. And basically, long story short, I'm going on a train. But I'm stopping because I've got some other bits and pieces to do. I've got a family birthday and I've got something else in the Midlands. But I'm stopping at every single station. I think from Leeds to Birmingham, where I'm going. Well, Telford's where I'm actually going. I think one of the destinations might be Crewe, possibly. So I'm actually, it's definitely on my list anyway. So I'm actually going to do like a stadium tour, providing the local Crewe security don't come and beat me up or something. So yeah, that's the random coincidence basically. So yes, hopefully I will have a Crew vlog basically, because I like going to like the lower league grounds as well. Because I'm a traditionalist. Sorry, wrestling fans. I will shut up in a minute, but I love all the old school English football grounds. And I do miss them a lot. That's the one thing with modern football. Like you go into these stadiums, and with the greatest respect now, it's like you're walking into a bloody library, and it's like you're going to the Sistine Chapel. And don't get me wrong, they are very nice. I mean, obviously I love Anfield, obviously as a Liverpool fan. But not to take the mick at my own football club at all, because obviously most of the times I've been in the atmosphere, I've been very lucky. Every single game I've been to has had a really good atmosphere. It's been excellent, but there is a couple of times when it's just like the crowd is just sat there going, entertainers, and I don't know. It just feels, because I've been obviously a few of these newer grounds now. And it just feels very, I don't know what the word is, sterile, if that makes any sense. But you go to a lower league ground. I mean, I went to see Telford, in the lower leagues with my brother and my mother many years ago, and the atmosphere for a non-league club, honestly, it was bouncing. It was so good. Um, yeah, yeah. Little side note, anyway. Stand with atmosphere. All right, okay. One stand. Oh, how strange. Um, but yeah, mate, I might be doing that at some point. Sorry, I'll get back to the comments in a minute. I just want to finish up the wrestling, then I'm happy to talk about football and stuff. That's fine. Just give me one sec. Um, there was there was a promo for the Smashing Machine. By the way, is anyone? Oh, only one. Yeah, I'm with you now, mate. Yeah, Marshall. Um, there was a promo for the Smashing Machine. By the way, is anyone interested in the Smashing Machine with a certain gentleman called Dwayne the Rock Johnson? Uh, it does actually look quite decent, to be fair. I used to be an old school UFC person as well. I used to love it when it was like Shamrock, Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, who was Alistair Overeem, um, who was the it was the Ukrainian bloke that was knocking everyone out in Pride. I think he was Ukrainian. Anyway, that was my sort of era. So I think I saw Mark Kerr fight actually, possibly. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Anyway, uh, wow, folks. Um, oh, oh no. Oh, right. Because of that person, Alex, if you're still watching, thank you for chatting with me. I've just had to delete two um, gentlemen for comments, and I've clicked on yours by accident, mate. I do apologise. If you can get back on, I'm trying to work out how to get you back on. Let me just have a look. But yeah, it's nothing to do with you. If you can try and get back on, if I can try and get you back on, and if you want to watch at any point, mate, I do apologise because I was enjoying chatting with you. I've literally just pressed your thing by accident. Because of various nincompoops who have had far too much to drink. And yeah, Alex, I apologise profusely. If you can get back on, great. But yes, I apologise. I'll try and message you after I've done this as well. I'll try and find out what your YouTube handle it. Oh, Alex on tour. Right, tell you what, Alex, I'm writing it down. Um, and I'll message you, mate, as well. But thank you for all the comments. Sorry about that, because like I unfortunately with this channel, I seem to have picked up one or two very mentally, oddly deranged, lunaticy adjacent people. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, now I'll try and get you back on, mate. But thanks for commenting anyway. Right, just very quickly. We had the Smashing Machine trailer, and then Stephanie McMahon got inducted by Undertaker for the 2026 WrestleMania. And then basically the last match was Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Um, it was fine. I mean, I'd literally finished watching this, funnily enough, just before I went on with you guys. It was absolutely fine. Nothing to write home about, to be completely honest. Rhodes went over. Drew sort of sold an injury where he was going to boot him again. And yeah, let's have a look. Well, that's a lot of deleted messages. Have you considered doing voiceover work? I would make your voice an alarm ringtone. No. I've not considered it, Omar. I might do now, though. Yeah, if you want to employ me as a voiceover person, that's fine. But yeah, the Cody Drew, look, it was fine. It was a perfectly acceptable wrestling match. I actually preferred Drew's match against Randy Orton a few weeks ago. To be honest, I thought that was really good. This was just Cody getting back into form before going on to his next challenge. I think maybe they'll run it with him and Drew for a couple more weeks, and then Cody will move on to something else. I think Drew needs to turn into a face, in my opinion. He's not really working as a heel for me. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good heel, but I think he's just over to the point now where the crowd just want to see Drew get a title, any title. But I mean, obviously, Seth's tied up with Punk. Byron Cutler. Was that the one, Byron, where? Oh my God, Bad Blood. Was that when The Rock came back? Or have I got the completely wrong one? Where it was Roman in the ring with, oh my God, I've completely forgot who it was now. Yeah, was it the one where The Rock gives the stare down? He does the 1, 2, 3, and then does that, or have I got completely the wrong one? If so, yeah, no, I did watch that. It was really good. This was it. Roman and Cena in the ring. There were 3 people. Oh my God, Cena. It was Cody Rhodes, wasn't it? Yeah. If that's the one, yeah. No, I do remember enjoying that pay per view. Sorry, my memory's a bit rubbish. Like I said, I can remember football match results from 35 years ago, and not pay per views that I've seen like 1 year ago. It's just the nature of being a weirdo, sadly. Yeah. Like I said, the Cody match was fine. It was what it was. I'm not going to do the thing of, so which was actually the best pay per view. Look, I mean, you've looked at my reviews. If you counted up how many matches I thought were really impressive versus the other side of how many matches I thought was impressive, then obviously I think AEW just for tonight, not tonight, last night was better. That doesn't mean I think AEW is better than WWE or WWE is better than AEW. Blah blah blah. I am not interested in any of that nonsense. Like I say, I love both companies. I like watching TNA. P.S. I might be starting a thing on TNA as well because we're actually getting that free in England on YouTube. So I might be doing a TNA thing as well if I have time, but just stick with me for that one. I like watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's actually on Extreme, I think, on a TV channel in the UK, but we can't get it in our house for some stupid reasons. But I'm going to try and watch more of that. But I will watch any kind of pro wrestling in the world. I've just been to Rev Pro in Sheffield, which is an English-based promotion. By the way, that's available to watch on Geek Boy Does Wrestling. See, there you go. Yeah, no, I'll watch any kind of wrestling. This whole thing of like which is better. It's like, guys, look, I've been a fan since before WCW went down, and when WCW went down, I mean, wow, what an absolute pile of word that I can't say for literally 10 years. Dreadful. Between 2001 and I'd say 2010, 2011. I mean, that era of wrestling was. And I know that's where a lot of you have grown up in, and I don't want to be rude, but obviously I had the Attitude Era, which is the greatest era of wrestling in all time, in my opinion. But you will have people before me who think that Mid South or whatever was the best in the 80s, or I don't know, Crockett's or whatever when you had the territories, and people like 70s wrestling more than 80s, and so on and so forth. But my thing was always the Attitude Era, so I get a lot of people grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, but it just wasn't for me, to be honest. But there you go. Anyway, cool. Right, guys, I'm going to now go cap in hand to Alex on tour and ask him to forgive me for deleting his message and hiding him on the channel. Oh my God. So again, if you are now watching Alex for some reason, I'm very, very sorry. I'm going to message you in about 5 minutes, pal, but thanks a lot for chatting with me, and I will put an apology out to you as well. Yeah, but like I said, folks, at the time, look, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm not a YouTuber yet. I'm working towards it. I'm not your standard one though. I'm not one of those that's going to sit there and have people put offensive comments and not fire back on them or be sarcastic or take the mick out of them. If you put something on my channel, then I will respond in kind. It's as simple as that. You need to grow up, basically. Anyway, yeah, that's about it from the pay-per-views, basically. So I think if I'm going to do a quick review, for WWE, I liked the card. I just think they made some wrong choices. I thought the CM Punk AJ Lee match was excellent. Like I said, it wasn't quite as good as I thought, but I still thought it was an excellent match. And there were two that were just fine. And look, the Brock one is, again, people will like the finish and people like Lesnar beating the living crap out of John Cena. I accept that. That's fine. It's just personally for me, I just thought it was a poor decision to have it go down that way. But each to their own. Like I said, Stephanie Bakir versus Io Sky is one of the best pro wrestling matches I have seen this year. Absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So if I was to give, I don't like doing the grading thing. If I was going to give a grade to Wrestlepalooza, by the way, please change the name. It's dreadful. It really is. I mean, you could have called it WrestleFest or something like that, for God's sake. I don't know anything, but it's the worst name I've ever heard in the history of business, apart from Great Balls of Fire. Whoever came up with that needs to, yeah. Yeah, those dreadful names. But in terms of Wrestlepalooza, I C plus going into a B minus. Like I said, I loved the hype around it. I loved the fact that it felt big and epic. I just didn't think it was the best card that I've ever seen. But I know some people enjoyed it, so that's just my opinion at the end of the day. All Out, very surprised, but I enjoyed it as much as I did. I still think there was some very strange match selections for me. Like I said, I wouldn't have gone with Carl Fletcher and Hangman. I wouldn't have had it as the main event because it just felt like a bit of a letdown. Not in terms of the match was fine, but it just wasn't my cup of tea at all. But by and large, I enjoyed 7, maybe out of the 9. I thought 3 to 4 of them were absolutely fantastic, and I thought 2 were absolutely sensational. One of which, like I said, the Okada match. Please, folks, if you have not seen it, please go and see it. If you're a fan of AEW or not, it was sensational. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever you want to do. 5-star match, blew the roof off, brilliant. So match of the evening, if I'm going to give it to anyone, definitely goes to Okada, Takeshita and Maska Dorada. So yeah, I've finally done my review of both things. Like literally a day after I should have done it. So yeah, like I said, folks, again, especially to Johnny, cheers, mate. And again, just thank you so much for bearing with me through this wretched sleep thing. I promise I will get better. And yeah, the live ones will be better regulated than they are now. I've actually told Mrs. Meta, and she has now asked me for a schedule of when I'm going on live so that she can keep an eye in case I've dropped off and fallen asleep. So yes, my own wife is now having to supervise me like a 4-year-old child, basically, which is quite humiliating, but hey, never mind. Yeah, cool. Nice one, everyone. So thanks everyone for watching. Again, shout out to Alex on tour. Alex, I'm going to find you on YouTube now and apologise. Didn't mean to delete you. I meant to delete the very strange people who have tried to hijack the show, and they've done nothing of the sort. So yeah, yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Just very quickly, in terms of what's coming up next week for normal subscribers. I should do the thing. Look, if you don't want to subscribe, fine. But if you do want to subscribe, it's at GeekBoyMeta7381. So as well as pro wrestling, I do obviously these guys who I'm going to do a podcast on Wednesday, I think it is. Liverpool football stadiums. I always forget this. Horror, toy hunts, Pride, Comic Con. I do lots of podcasts as well. So I do Geek Boy. Geek Boy does wrestling. Was that one? No, that's my thing had. I forgot the name of the bloody podcast. Honestly, see, this is what made my the AO Sky thing. That's literally me. Um, that's it. Geek Boy a wrestling story. So I do Geek Boy a wrestling story, Geek Boy a movie story, and Geek Boy a Liverpool story. So a lot of the lives that I do end up being podcasts on YouTube as well. So again, apologies to any YouTube podcasters that will be listening to this, but if you're wondering why there were gaps, there were some very, very strange people trying to get themselves over, to use wrestling parlance, and coming out with very stupid, childish 4-year-olds adjacent names and nonsense, of which I have no interest in whatsoever. So yes, do one. In terms of what's coming up this week, I might be on tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but I will definitely be on for Monday Night Raw. So that'll be about 3:30 in the morning. Hopefully, I will definitely set an alarm as well, just in case. I'm not going to bed for like ages yet, so I'll probably end up having a good sleep in any case. What else have I got? Right, if you're a Reds fan, right, Reds, I will be covering Southampton, but I'm actually going to miss the game because I've got an event with my mummy again. Yay! No, shout out to mum if you're listening. Yeah, I will be unavailable for the Southampton match, so I'm gonna do my reaction show about possibly 3-4 o'clock. I'm not sure because Wednesday's a bit of an awkward day, like work-wise and stuff. So just bear with me on that. If not, it'll be about this time. It'll be about 10 o'clock on the Wednesday. 9:30 on the Thursday morning. I will be covering AEW again. So that'll be Dynamite. I don't think there's a thing Saturday on Friday. There might be something on Friday, actually. I'm not totally sure yet. Just bear with me on that. Also, as well, Saturday I do something called the Late SmackDown Reaction Show. I think I've called it. I don't know. It's on my thing anyway. The reason why it's the Late SmackDown Reaction Show is because basically, usually, other than this weekend, I've usually got a hyperactive 11-year-old child strapped to my leg, basically, who wakes up at like 6:30 in the morning. SmackDown in the UK obviously finishes at like near 3 o'clock in the morning, and if I was to do a live reaction, that would leave your boy with about 2 hours of sleep, which I'm an old man, I need my sleep now, clearly. So, but there's usually no one in our house at like on like Saturday night. Everyone's usually gone to bed at like some daft hour of like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I usually do it about 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. So if you want to put me on whilst we all watch Match of the Day, in fact, that is a genius idea. Why haven't I thought of that before? Match of the Day watch along. Ooh. Light bulb, don't steal my idea. Yeah, no, I'll definitely be doing the Friday night SmackDown on Saturday night, basically. And I think that's it for this week. I've got some very cool stuff coming up in October because it's spooky season. I'm a massive horror movie fan. I love everything connected to it. So I'm going to be embracing the dark side in October. I'm actually calling it Geekoween. Yeah, see what I did there. So I'm going to a Gothica event in Leeds, Kirkgate. I'm going to Hull Horror Fest, if any of you are horror people. I think there's a few people that saw my video from last year, and I've met a fair few horror fans. If you are, shout out to you. I'm going to Barnsley Comic Con, Sheffield Comic Con as well this month. I might be going to Bramall Lane and Oakwell on the days that I'm there as well for the football crowd. I think there's something else as well. Oh, I'm going to try and do like a live reaction to Predator Badlands as well. And hopefully I can get my vlog out about Weapons. I don't know if anyone has watched Weapons the film. If you've not watched Weapons the film, please go and watch Weapons the film. It was absolutely freaking awesome. Yeah, so I've got a lot coming up next month as well. I'm just trying to think. I'm sure I've missed something that I need to tell you guys about. Do you know what? I can't remember. But yeah, no, there's lots and lots of cool stuff coming out. I've got a vlog about when I went to Disney earlier in the summer, not as in Disney, like the Disney store in London. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. There's a Liverpool weekender that I've got where I did a load of vlogs in the summer. That's coming up in like the early part of November as well. So there's loads and loads of cool content. That's the other thing. I'm going to Leeds Light Night, which is a thing we do in Leeds involving lights being shone on buildings, basically. But it's a lot more cool than what I'm describing. But my plan is, I think that's sort of late October. I think it's the day before Hull Horror Fest, so that's going to be a quality weekend. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and walk around Leeds City Centre and basically film it over 2 days, but do it live. So I'll take you around the city centre, show you around bits and pieces, hope that some charming gentleman or lady does not steal my phone while I'm waving it about like this. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming up, guys. But yeah, I think that's about it from me now. So thanks everyone for watching. Thank you not at all to the trolls who keep on targeting it. Do you know what? Keep on targeting it. Yeah, I have nothing to say to you. You are just very, very sad, insignificant little people at the end of the day. So crack on, boys. And yeah, cool. Nice one, guys. Right, I will be on definitely early hours of Tuesday morning, 3:30 for the Raw live reaction show. Like I said, there's a possibility I might be on tomorrow, but that'll have to be as and when it happens, because it might be something to do with Liverpool, but I'm not sure what's going to happen just yet. But yes, just bear with me on that. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Have a great next week, and I will see you on Tuesday morning. Bye-bye.